Hey gang, how you doing? My name's Jaden. I'm currently converting a 40-foot school bus to be my full-time, off-grid tiny home on wheels. Documenting the entire thing here on this YouTube channel. So if you like that kind of thing, make sure to subscribe. You can keep up with all the progress I'm making on the bus from start to finish and eventually getting to live in this thing full-time. In this video, if you've been following the channel, you can see a major update in lookage on the inside of the bus. I have created a kitchen, more or less. So yeah, in this video, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through how I built my kitchen cabinets. These countertops are not fully installed quite yet. I just cut them and put them into place so that I could get a feel for how it's going to look. I'll work on this more this weekend, but I don't think I'm going to have it done in time for this video to be released. So this will probably be coming up in a part 2 of this video, so stay on the lookout. But in this video, I'm going to go ahead and take you through how I built these kitchen cabinets. Now, these cabinets consist of 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half-ish, really 4 different cabinet pieces all put together. I made these out of 3/4 inch birch plywood, and then I used for my shelves and drawer bottoms 1/2 inch birch plywood. So basically what we have is we have one wide 28 inch cabinet that has 3 large pull-out drawers. I have this 1 foot interior width cabinet. No shelves in this one. This is going to be good for, all the, big, awkward, tall things, or like a trash can, something like that. And then right here, I've got a double door that opens to a large cabinet with nothing under it quite yet, because this is where my sink is going to be. So my sink's going to be dropped in right underneath this window, plumbed in under here, and then on this L-out portion, I got another couple cabinets here. These doors open in a weird way because this is my first time doing this, so they open in a weird way, but this one kind of goes back and around in this corner. It has 2 shelves. My water heater is actually on the bottom, underneath this higher shelf here, tucked back in the corner. So it's super out of the way, but also still very accessible. So my propane for my hot water heater is going to be housed under here in some kind of box. And then this is going to be for like my big heavy appliances, for my countertop appliances like my KitchenAid, coffee maker, things like that. And then I got one last one right here that's about 13 inches interior width. I have just about 10 feet total of usable counter space minus the space for my sink. So once my sink is in here, in total, I'll have about 8 to 9 feet or so, depending on what size sink I get, of usable counter space. This is actually more counter space than I had in my first apartment that I moved into out of college. Countertop, like I said, is going to be in a future video, but it's unfinished birch butcher block. I'm going to be sanding this up and finishing it with a few coats of polyurethane, like an oil-based polyurethane, to kind of bring out a richer color and seal it up nice. So that's kind of an overview of what I did in this video. Let me take you back in time and show you how I built the cabinets. Alrighty. We are making some cabinets today. Now, I've never made cabinets before, ever. I did watch a YouTube video though on how to do it, so I feel pretty confident I can figure it out. Went ahead and got my plywood. I basically have about 90 inches, which is how many feet? I think it's like, what, 8 feet? So, quite a bit of space is actually available, which is really nice. But the other thing I'm doing with these cabinets is I'm making them less deep, so like shallower than typical. So they're going to be 20 inches deep. Same with my counter is going to be a 20-inch deep counter, which should still be it's only a 4-inch difference, but the 4 inches for walking is going to make a huge difference. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting these down. Then we'll go ahead and get into the bus when they're all cut down and start putting this stuff together. so here it is, fit in the bus. I think this is gonna be really nice. Total material wise, probably like a half sheet of plywood. So not bad at all. I'm really liking the look of this, and it provides such a good sized walkway. Honestly, way more space than I really anticipated, and I think having a 20-inch deep counter versus like a 24-inch deep counter is not going to make a noticeable enough difference on the counter space portion, but it will make a difference with how much room I have to walk through here. I'm gonna go ahead and go out and work on making another one, I guess. Alrighty, just completed the second cabinet here. Got this little foot wide one. So yeah, plan is now to make one that's about 28 inches wide or so. That's going to be perfect to fit my sink underneath this window. And then figure out what space is left right there for the corner. Do some kind of thing there and move on. I'm shocked, to be completely honest with you, that I'm able to do this. It's a lot easier than I anticipated, at least building the shells, which is probably going to end up being the easiest part of this. But we'll see. I mean, either way, I like how this is turning out a lot. It turned into a hot day. Yeah, the sun is shining out there. Anywho'ser, check it out. My main kitchen cabinets. Dude, these turned out pretty freaking rad, not gonna lie. Have this little like alcove right here to put some corner, like a corner cabinet, and cover up my water heater. So what I think is gonna happen, and I think is gonna be the best move, is whatever I have here is gonna house my propane tank. So again, if you haven't seen my water heater, I have this one from Vavor, whatever, I don't know. It had good reviews online, haven't tried it yet. It's a 12-volt water heater, instant water heater, so it's nice. It's powered by propane, so the gas inlet is right there with the yellow cap. So I'm gonna have my propane here, probably in some kind of, I don't know, some kind of box I'll make for it just to keep it enclosed and not like shake around and not exposed to anything, but it'll make it a nice short run to the water heater. And then right above the water heater, I can have some other storage here, maybe kind of like a corner opening shelf or something like that. I don't know, I'll figure that out. Not right at this very second though. And then I think I may potentially have room for one more smaller cabinet here. I don't want to cut in or cut out too much because I want to be able to walk comfortably through here, and I don't entirely know what my pantry situation is going to look like, how far that's going to come out. I just don't want to make it like a tight squeeze, but you know, I should probably end up figuring that out. I don't exactly know what I'm going to do next, probably that corner piece, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut to whenever I start doing that. I hath returned, same day, different fit, took a shower, ate some food, feeling ready to attack this once again. I'm going to go ahead and take a slight break from the cabinets and actually go ahead and throw up some walls for my bathroom, or at least try to start to. The tricky part is, and this is something that I did not have to go through with my side walls, is that obviously there's some major curvature on this wall, so I'm gonna have to do some fancy cutting to make it slip right into place. And I think, I mean, there's different ways to do it. I don't really have like what I was really hoping for. I could get like a piece of cardboard that was big enough, like 4 feet wide, and a certain, you know, thickness or width, so I could like put it up there and like scribe the curves. I don't have anything like that, so I'm going with plan B, be making a grid system. So I'm going to go, you know, like my first one is like at the wall, so it's at the edge of the sheet of plywood, and it's 75 inches up, so make a mark there. And the next one is 1.25 inches from the edge, but 77 inches up, so make another mark there. And then the third one is 78 inches up, but 73.25 inches up, or whatever, and then 3 inches from the edge, so make a mark there. Then when I have all my marks, I'm just gonna connect the dots, basically take my jigsaw, cut along that line, and see if it fits. You feel me? In my mind, that should work. Let's go try it. Okay, I got my line drawn out. I'm pretty skeptical about this working, but I guess we shall see. I can't imagine this fits in first try, but crazier things have happened. Well, she's in. Purely by looking at it, my hopes are not very high, but we'll see. Let me move these guys. Oh, I did not miss messing with full sheets of plywood in here. Are we sure my measurements were not like severely off? Can this even stand up? Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. I'm gonna try to do this without knocking anything over or breaking anything, which I don't think is gonna be possible. Oh, it still has some energy drink in it. What am I doing? I'm slacking. Ooh, go. Well, now, this seems to be quite the predicament. Surely, this has to fit, obviously, right? I need to readjust what I'm doing. Newsflash. School bus conversion is a small space. I never fail to leave an absolute load of crap directly in my way. Every time. Okay, there we go. Oh, don't break that. Good Lord Almighty. Pain in the freaking rear end, dude. All right, put your bets in the chat. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. How is there just constantly one more thing that's in my way? Answer me this. Answer me that. Wire, you're in the way. Oh, look at that. One more thing in the way. Good night. Okay, so there's a problem here, and that is getting it in. Okay. Oh my gravy. Get out of my way. Jiminy Christmas. Okay. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. I'm gonna go ahead and tack that thing up there. Well, hey now, that's cool. Didn't expect to have a somewhat of a wall in my bathroom yet, but that's pretty sweet. Nice. Now I gotta figure out what the heck to do in this corner, man. I'm still stewing. I'm over there in that corner, building out my cabinets. We're getting some progress done, which is very exciting. But I can still get it done. Got about a gazillion pocket screws in there. Here's like the full size of it with that guy on there. Not too bad. It's been a few days since I've worked on these, so I don't really know where I left you, but basically we're working with a big, large, about 28-inch wide interior cabinet here. We got about a foot wide one here. Got about a 28-inch wide one as well right here. And then in the corner here, we got a really big, deep cabinet. I'm not entirely sure what the width is all the way back. And then we got this smaller, about 13-inch wide cabinet here on the side as well. And my plan for right now is to do some drawers on this one. This is going to be like big, deep drawers, probably 3 of them. I'm not going to do anything fancy for the drawers. I know, you can go on YouTube and search up how to make drawers, and they'll give you all these answers with these fancy joinery, solutions, doing like the, I don't even know what they're called, like fancy looking joinery. I'm not doing that. that sounds like a lot more work than I want to do, so I'm just using pocket screws and wood glue. Let's go ahead and get started measuring and see if we can get a door in here. Got my 3 grooves made, 2 in my side pieces and 1 on my back piece. So I'm going to go ahead and lay down my back piece here. I'm going to assemble the sides, take my measurements for the base plate. I'm going to insert it with glue, screw on my front box or front box, and then friggin' get these drawer slides on. Call it a day. Alright, well, got this much of the drawer done. I'm going to make the bottom plate, slide it in the groove with some glue, clamp it up, and then do the same pocket screw thing for the front. And then we have our first drawer. We're looking at 20... Wait, what was the... Okay, I didn't take into account the thickness of the 3/4 inch plywood on the sides. So all right, it's the next day. I'm fresh. I have a better attitude now. I was exhausted last night. I had just flown back from a 25-hour trip to New York, so I was pretty tired. But I'm going to start the day by correcting my mistake. I accidentally did not take into account the thickness of the plywood on the sides here. So I need to basically just unscrew this, cut 1.5 inches off the length of this back piece. I'm going to have to do the same with the front piece as well, but then screw back together. I can get the base piece for it and then kind of move on from there. Well, I was thinking at least doing for the slides. Yeah, it's timing isn't everything. Okay, yeah, good. Depth is pretty much perfect. Very nice. All right, so the depth is pretty much perfect on the drawer. That's good. Now let me show you the drawer slides I got. So I got these Everbuilt full extension ball bearing slides. These are just like bottom mount, side mount slides. They're full extension, so they can, pull the drawer out fully. It's an 18-inch slide, so they can pull the drawer out 18 inches. I went with 18 inches because the actual interior depth of the cabinet with these stretchers is only 19.25 inches, so I couldn't do a 20-inch or else it would have stuck out. So I believe these mount on the side of the actual cabinet and then on the side of the drawer. I'm not entirely sure though. I've never installed one of these, but let's just see how we're looking. Okay. Well, for some reason the soft close isn't working. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it's just a little bit too I don't know, maybe there's just not enough space. I should have gotten some smaller slides low-key, but we got a drawer. Yeah, heck yeah, bro. About midway through making my second drawer here. So that initial construction went far smoother than the first, which is nice. So I don't really know like the proper way to like make the measurements. So I'm just using a piece of 3/4 inch plywood on top of the drawer that's already there, and then just popping the slider on there and calling it a day. Heck yeah, dude. All right, I'm gonna take a break, get some food, go to the gym, and return for drawer number 3. Alrighty, 2 drawers down, 1 to go. Go ahead and slide this down into those grooves I routed out. Alrighty, and there is drawer number 3. Very nice. So now for the slides. Hey gang, sorry I had to plug you in. Finally got it to work, dude. Good Lord in heaven. I don't know what the problem was there. I had to shim it up just a touch. Right there, you can't even see it really. There's just like a slight gap on that in the front. Really have no idea what the problem was. Soft close still isn't working, so I must just not really understand how to make that work. Actually, hold on. I know I did something with this. Wait a minute. Is this the answer? No, that wasn't the answer. That did nothing. So we got the first drawer down here, which is a big 14-inch deep drawer. Huge. Totally big enough for literally any pots and pans I could ever have. So that's gonna be nice. Got this one right here. Ooh, got the spacer on it. Got this one right here. I think, if I remember correctly, this is like a 10-inch deep or something, maybe like a 13-inch. Can't quite remember. Another really nice deep drawer. And then we got this one right here, which is still a really good size. It's about a 5.5-inch deep. I'll get some kind of, you know, semi-nice looking face here, screw it all in, put a nice handle on there, and, you know, call it a day. Make sure we can't see any of these edges. And then the other thing I need to do is my doors, and I think I'm just going to do slab doors as well for all of these. Nothing fancy, no need. Maybe I can paint like a nice little pattern on there. I don't know, man, but I do know that it's kind of getting late, as you can tell by how dark it is. It's 9:30, and I want to go in and chill, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it. See y'all tomorrow. Today should be hopefully the last day that I'm working on this, at least for now. I really only have 4 more doors to do, that being for underneath the sink and then underneath this like L-out portion. So I'm gonna do a couple of just like double doors here, one for the sink, one for this guy. I made this door up yesterday, and as you can see, it operates as a door, even though I really do not understand why I cannot get the soft close to work on anything. Maybe because this isn't a soft close hinge. I guess this isn't soft close. I thought this was soft close. Oh well, it's not a huge deal. I don't really mind the non-soft closing. It is what it is. It's just whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and get to cutting some more door slabs, get them on in there, and then hopefully if I lock in enough for the next few hours, should be able to get these all done. We'll see. Just like that. Pretty darn easy. Well, there you go. My camera's on 2% somehow. Did a, I don't know, hour-long time lapse, and it drained it from 70% to 2%. So, as I said, it died. Dude, obviously they're not perfect, but we're not going for perfection here. We're going for functionality and good enough. And that's what I got. So this one got a little interesting. Just like the way I cut the doors and put the hinges on, it wouldn't fit unless I like recut the door, which I wasn't going to do the hinges on that side. So I did the hinges on the inside. So these both open up this way, and they, at least at this point, only slightly touch, which I can just adjust the cadence on that just slightly to account for that. But then I got my 2 cabinet doors for under my sink, which actually I think these turned out the best out of any of them. So that'll be under my sink. Very nice. And then I got this little guy. Boom. And then at a later date, at some point, I'll put some false fronts on these drawers to match it up with the rest of this. Just some more 3/4 inch plywood to basically go from here all the way over to this edge, and then I could put a drawer pull on them, make it look all nice and pretty. But here, let me get you an upper view looking down, dude. Hey, I mean, guys, this being like the size of my kitchen, minus the stove and oven, which is going to be here with a little under storage drawer, like right where that vacuum is. So we'll still have a little bit more storage under here with the oven and stove. This is a pretty freaking good size. I'm not going to lie. From that back of that wall to the edge of this counter cabinet thing, whatever, is just about 8 feet, just shy of 8 feet. And then from there to there, it's about 4 feet, or it's exactly 4 feet because it's, one sheet of plywood width-wise. So in total, not accounting for the sink, we have between 8 and 10 feet total of usable counter space here with a ton of storage room. So I'm pretty happy with that. And look how nice that looks, all nice and cleaned up in here. Got all the plywood and stuff out the way, so now I get a real feel for how spacious this is going to be. And I'm digging it. I'm digging it quite a bit. I can just imagine coming out here and, washing up some whatever, prepping up some whatever, and then eventually cooking whatever. Having stuff on the counter. It'll be nice. Speaking of counter, I didn't actually expect to do this in this video. This is where I was going to kind of call it. But I've been slow to edit. I had about like 7 or 8 hours of video to cut down to like whatever 40 minutes or whatever the video is at this time. So it just so happens that I'm not done editing, and I finally committed to a countertop that I want for my kitchen countertops, and I'm gonna start installing that tonight, like right now. So I figured I would just include it in this video, so you get a little bit extra today. Lucky you. But let me go and get the stuff that I got for my countertop and tell you my plan. Butcher block. Now, ever since I got the bus, I've been thinking about, what I'm going to be turning it into, how I'm going to make it look. And in the forefront of my mind, my kitchen, obviously, because it's one of the bigger parts of the bus, has been the thing I kind of have been thinking about the most. And ever since I got the bus, I wanted to do butcher block countertops. I just really like the look of them. That's basically it. I like the look of them. I'm going to go ahead and take my measurements and get these things cut down so I can put them in place and figure out what I need to do. So, I can get to that. Well, looks like one of my measurements is wrong. I think I just totally read the measurement wrong. So this one ended up cutting to be flush with this cabinet, like the doors. At least it's not like inset on the doors. That would be a bummer. So it's flush with the doors, more or less. So honestly, I mean, not necessarily ideal, but honestly not the end of the world. This one has about an inch or so overlap on the doors, which is initially what I had intended and wanted. Unfortunately, can't go back in time and fix that necessarily. So that's how it's gonna be. But, you know, not the end of the world. It is what it is. Life goes on, you know what I mean? Oh, this is gonna be so good, guys. This feels so good. Obviously the countertops aren't in yet, like installed, but they're here. It's starting to feel like a home, that's for sure. This counter is screwed on, so I think it's time we give it the old test-a-rooney. Alright, so last thing I'm going to do for this is, at least today, is I'm going to run over it with some, probably 120 or 320 grit, whatever I have, sandpaper, the highest grit I have. Make it all nice and smooth. And then I'm going to come and do a coat of polyurethane on it. And once that's drying between coats, start to figure out the plumbing in the back. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Can't decide yet if I want to round off the corners or trim anymore or anything like that, so I think I'll just figure that out later, and if I need to put another coat of polyurethane on the fresh cut pieces, no problemo. There is the first coat of poly down. And the product recommends that I do a minimum of 3 coats, 1 coat every 4 hours. So 4 hours from now at basically 4 o'clock, I'll be doing a second one, and then this evening I will do my third. And then we got the kitchen counter pretty much done. Pretty sweet though. So anyways guys, that's where I'm actually gonna call this video. If you stuck around this long, I know it's probably going to be a bit of a longer video. I appreciate you watching. And hopefully, you know, some of you might have taken something away from this. Not necessarily teaching you a whole lot, but just showing you what you can do as a first-time DIYer. You know, I am kind of blown away, to be completely honest with you, based on my skill level and knowledge being pretty much zero when it comes to anything I'm doing. You know, I'm pretty shocked as to how all of this is turning out. And with the kitchen cabinets and countertop here, I'm super happy with this. While this coat dries, I'm going to be going over kind of my plan for plumbing. Plumbing is the next one. I got my freshwater tank in the back. I've already started filming that video, so be on the lookout for that. It's going to be coming hopefully soon, depending on how long it takes me to finish the plumbing or how I decide to release the videos. I'm not entirely sure, but I am going to be working on my plumbing. That's why I went with the cabinets first, so I could figure out where my plumbing is running to for my sink and run the plumbing through there without having to build around the plumbing that's already in there. So hopefully soon, maybe in the next week or two, have a fully plumbed in kitchen sink at the very least. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So yeah, anyways guys, I'm gonna cut the video here. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you like this kind of thing, I'm doing the entire build series here on this YouTube channel, so make sure to subscribe and follow along if you like this kind of thing and are interested in keeping up with the progress. It's been fun so far, and I got a ton of videos on my channel going over everything it's taken to get to this point so far. Everything from tearing out the seats to what you see now. So go back and check out the channel if you're curious about anything that it's taken to get to this point, and I'll go ahead and see you in the next one.